guys, I am back with my G4 standard baby Think It Over. She, body-wise, it's kind of similar to weighted neonate, as in like the front, she does not have a chest hole. Excuse me. She has a head that's supposed to turn side to side. She's an older model, so her head kind of sticks. She would have come with just a diaper, a shirt, and this is a G5 box. It will work with her. She is a G4 model. The G5 has the head support similar to the electronic neonate. And these are just on the top. There are these two little prongs for the G5 for the head support. To relay inside the box, it'll tell if the head is supported or not. The boxes work fine in here. You can switch the boxes around. You can put a G4 box in a G5. It just won't register if the head falls back. In fact, in my school, my teacher actually did that. Because she put the G4 5 boxes in the 4s and the 4s and the 5s. Because she did not like the head support feature because of how it was. And especially how you use these ones. On the inside it has the instruction. Each one would come with a box. It would come with the 2 of these student keys. I've got a few more. And then the teacher key for the box. I just keep them all together. I thought I had more than that. I only have 3 student keys, but I'm not going to put batteries in it and run this like I did the electronic neonate, just because these ones, the instructions to set it are pretty self-explanatory, but the thing is there's a 2-hour delay. So I wasn't about to set it, turn it on. In order to, when the box cries, all you have to do to give it care is put the key inside, put this key inside this hole and turn it. All you had to do. Except for the thing is you'll feel a little resistance. As you can see, putting the key in it and I can turn it and it'll still stay in, but that's not requiring care. You can't do that. You need to have it all the way over where the resistance is. A lot of students hated these because these keys were very uncomfortable and hurt because you had to hold them there for anywhere between 5 to 35 minutes. They hurt a lot when you had to do the 35 minutes, and that's all the babies did. Like, that's the only way that you did the care. Teachers didn't like them because they were very, aside from a real infant schedule, waking kids up in the middle of the night, they weren't really realistic. I mean, it would be basically carrying around a baby doll with a cry box in it. That occasionally you'd have to put a key in the back. And then you can hear, it can't be on its tummy, so you can hear the mechanism. That if it's flipped over on its tummy, it'll cry. And that was the whole back to sleep feature. Because right now it would be crying because it goes in with the speaker out. So she would come with the baby, 1 diaper, a baby Think It Over t-shirt. This t-shirt also came on the original Real Care. Pink would be for girls and there was a blue version for boys. 2 student keys and a set of teacher keys, the cry box. That's what you would get in each box, and then there would be information oh, excuse me. There would be a folder in the box for the teacher that had a little more information on how to program the baby than this. And then it would also give a better explanation on how to read this once the simulation was over. And then it had a very simple curriculum to go with it. I did used to have all that, but when we lived in Fargo, our basement flooded, and somehow the papers had fallen out of the box before the flood, all of them were destroyed. We had to throw them all away. They were wet. There was no salvaging them. I was really sad about that, and I haven't been able to find another set like that. Although in the Baby Think It Over neonate group, we do have the files, so I can print them off at any point. I just haven't yet. I'm going to flipping her over. As you can see, like I said, she had the turn head instead of the flippy head in the back. And by the way, this is an Asian female. Once again, anatomically correct with all the parts. As you can see, it's just a plain diaper, like a neonate electronic or non-electronic neonate. And this is just the back. Where did I put the box? Oh, here it is. Where I mentioned these little prongy things, right up in this corner, you'll see two metal pieces if it's a G5, and it'll have the floppy head. Since there aren't those, you can still use the box. It just won't recognize, it won't register that there was head support or not head support. And, excuse me. If you purchase one of these off eBay, you either want to make sure it comes with the key or it's unlocked like this. Like you can see, it'll stay closed, not locked. I'm just going to lock it to put it in because I pulled it out, unlocked, and I kind of... So you can see my car's Band-Aid on my finger. It decided to bite me as it was coming out. Now I'm not going to be able to get the key in. Well, this thing is so finicky, and then you just turn it. But if you're buying one on eBay, you either need the key or you want an open box. I've seen a few that are saying they're selling them untested and they don't have the key and they're not open. Basically, you're buying in the electronic world, a brick, unless you can find the key. And when you can find the teacher keys, a lot of people sell them really expensive. Some people are actually just selling the boxes without the key, but they have it open. So if you're looking on eBay, get one of those. If you find a G5 or G4 or 5. And all you got to do, put the 4 AA batteries in, set it, and push it in. Baby will cry as soon as you put it in because it's on its tummy and the whole back to sleep. And then you just turn it over, and in 2 hours, she will start requesting care. And the other thing with these is while they would wake you up at random hours, they weren't on a true real infant schedule. They were just completely random. Complete and utter randomness. Where the G6 original real care on up, they run on real infant schedules. So if I programmed it at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, typically when a baby would be awake, the doll's going to request a lot of care. If I program at 12 o'clock at night, I'm probably going to get a baby that's sleeping. Because a baby typically at 12 o'clock at night will be sleeping. It'll wake up around 3 o'clock, request a bottle, a diaper change, a burp, and then go back to bed. Sometimes it just requests a bottle and a diaper change and go back to bed. Sometimes it'll request a diaper change and that's it. So that is a real infant schedule, where this was just complete randomness of when it cries. It would just start crying randomly 3 hours or 2 hours after the teachers put the batteries in, set it, and put it in the doll. There wasn't a whole lot about these ones because they are very basic. They do not have eyebrows or eyelashes, like I mentioned, that the Baby Think It Overs do not have them. And they're a very basic doll. There was a beginner care that came out when the, what was it? Real Care 2s came out. Baby Think It Over still sold the generation, they sold the Generation 4 and the Generation 5s at the same time. When the G6 original Real Cares came out, they discontinued the G4s, still sold the G5s. Then they decided to discontinue the original Real Care, the G5s. And to replace the G5s, they came out with this baby that was a beginner care. The G5s needed the head support. The beginner care does not need head support, although its head does not move side. Sorry about that, guys. My battery died. That is one thing I hate about this camera. I really want to get that camera that has the flip up so I can see when it's about to die. Anyways, as I was saying, the beginner care's head does not turn side to side. It is stationary. When you flip it over, it has the circle. It uses the same ID that an original Real Care and the Real Care 2 baby can use. It has this hole in the back for that same ID. And it takes 4 AA batteries. And all you need to do is when you turn it on. Similar setup to this. It's very basic. When it cries, you just push that in and just hold that in place. So it's not that you're turning it, but you need to hold it. They came up with the beginner care, is what it was named, to start like in middle schools, because statistics were starting to show that more and more girls in middle schools were pregnant or winding up pregnant. So they started wanting to do the program earlier to kind of curb that, but they didn't want to give them, they thought that like a Real Care 2 would be too difficult for them to use. And they were a cheaper price point, so schools also like that for the younger kids. I know in my district, every time they got new babies, they just handed the older babies down to, the high school would hand them down to the middle school. And then as the basically, and then as the high school got another, okay. So like when my high school had the G4, G5s, and they got the Real Cares, they handed the G4s and the G5s down to the middle school. Then when they got the Real Care 2s, the Real Care, original Real Cares went to the middle school. And then the G4, G5s that still worked went to the intermediate school. The district that I went to, elementary was kindergarten through 5th. Excuse me. Then there was intermediate that was 6th and 7th. Then the middle school was 8th and 9th. Yes, I know high school is typically 9th grade, but... And then the high school was 10th through 12. But they just kept passing them down. Eventually, they probably used them for the trade-in program as they stopped working. But yeah, the beginner cares were very basic. I had one at one point. I honestly never turned it on. Just like this one. I had no interest in it. The electronics worked. I turned them on once to make sure they worked, and that was it. Once again, you put the batteries in, you start it, and it has a 2-hour delay. Real Care, original Real Cares also, when you program them, have a 2-hour delay, I believe, if I remember correctly. That you program them for the start time, and its baby starts 2 hours after it's programmed, I believe is what it was. Where the Real Care 2, Real Care 2 Plus, and the Real Care 3, as soon as you put those batteries in and start them, you're gone. It's already started. The whole simulation has started. But, so this is just a standard G4. There was also the standard G5, which had the head support. And then similar to it, the upgrade would have been the beginner care when they discontinued the G4 and the G5 models. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all later. Bye!